What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. We are here outside reporting, not from Sellers Park, but we just had to come live. We had to come live today because there is massive news, as you can see from the title. John Textor potentially looking to sell his stake at the club, and also a medical confirmed as well. There's a lot to talk about today. As always, if you do enjoy the content, like, subscribe. You already know the business, and get involved. That's the most important thing. More than anything, get involved. If you have any questions, put a Q and a dot before it, and we'll answer them towards the end of the show. T, how you doing, my man? We got like different scenarios. I know the lights behind me are not great, but
no, but it's all good, man. You know, you got to mix it up. You got to have a nice little flavors every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's better than my cupboard, isn't it? It's better than just in my bedroom all the time.
I don't know. The luxury penthouse in the background is kind of flex. So
yeah, teasing his penthouse right now. 100% not at work. What are you saying though? How you been, man? How you been this week? Another week is coming to an end after the season's ended. It's been an exciting week, to be fair. It hasn't been quiet, has it?
I'll take the weeks where we actually got stuff to talk about. I mean, a lot of things going on. I mean, it makes you wonder what could happen next week.
It's not even something to talk about. There's more. It's not just rumors. It's like serious.
Some of the stuff is real. Yeah, exactly.
There's serious business to talk about. Like there's potential ownership change, and John Textor makes it more difficult. You know what? Let's just jump straight into it. Let's not even waste any time. Of course, the Textor news that's come out just a few hours ago, which we'll talk about, whether it's a shock or not. But it's the following, that John Textor is looking to sell his shares at the club. According to The Athletic, he's looking to sell his stake. Not only that, he's looking to sell his stake and is interested in buying Everton. And he said the following as well, that Crystal Palace is an independent club. And a sporting model that we've planning to do is, as ours at Eagle, is simply not perfect at Palace. So he's saying his multi-club model is not fit for Palace, and he's looking to sell. He's looking to sell. T.
Yeah,
are you shocked?
I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked because I think we've known for a while that Textor would prefer to be an outright majority owner of the club. I mean, he's pretty much said it in the past in regretting certain stipulations to the agreement and wishing that was one of them. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense because in his multi-club ownership, we're the only ones that he doesn't own controlling interest in. So it makes sense that, yes, we're not the perfect fit for what he's looking to do because we're the only ones that he doesn't have controlling interest on. And in this situation, if he's probably put in multiple efforts to make those purchases, to be that one that has a controlling interest. He's bought more shares during this time in ownership. He's probably to a point where he feels like he's not going to be able to do what he wants to do and get it across the line in order to be the majority owner. So right now, then it becomes a situation of, hey, sell high. Right now the club is in a really good situation as far as the players we have that we currently own, the success of the club, the manager in place. So there's a lot of good things. Being in South London, having renovations coming to the stadium, there's a lot of things that will attract someone to want to buy. But it's just be interesting to see how that plays out.
I agree. When it comes down to it, it's a case of, I guess, who wants to buy his shares without having control. Are you worried about that?
I think that's the biggest piece. That's the biggest piece. Yeah, that's the biggest piece. I don't think anybody that wants to come in and purchase 45% of a club wants to do that and come in and not be able to have control. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest hurdle. I mean, all those things that I mentioned about the club as pros could go out the window when it comes to the con of not really having true control in a club. So that could tie things up pretty significantly and complicate things to where we might not see him be able to sell his shares.
I just think personally for him, I think this is a perfect time for him to sell up. The club, the reps is on up with Glasner, with Elise, Eze. I just think it's not a shock. The news is not a shock. The time is a bit of a shock. And not only that, I think the funniest thing about it is that he's interested in buying Everton, which clearly shows to me, anyways, from the outside looking in, that for him, it's all about the multi-club model. Wherever he can make it work, he just wants to make it work like that. But it's just who comes up, who ends up buying the shares. There's that. There's when will it happen? When would the sale happen? Also, I think Tim mentioned the point as well. He wanted to take Eagle Football public, and Palace fans opposed that. Now, do you think that's played a part as well to it?
Yeah, I think it does because, like I said, I mean, if he has controlling interest, then it's not an issue for him to take that next step of making a publicly traded company to continue to bring in revenue. But the fact that he is not in the situation where he can make that decision, literally, Palace becomes, the rock in the cog. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be weird now that that's involved as well. It's not any transfers. I guess we got a potential sale of the football club. Who's interested? I think it's only a matter of time. We'll find it out. And we'll answer the questions towards the end of the show. But this one, I have to answer this. And you pinned that as well. Will Harrison Blitzer buy him out? Then will they own the majority? Do we see an internal group potentially buying out his shares? And I guess it could make sense. I don't think that would be Parish, but will you be happy if Harrison Blitzer bought out Textor and have the majority?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it'd be interesting to see how they would be as majority owners in this situation. It's not like they don't have ownership experience with other clubs or other organizations, but that'd be an interesting thing to see, and to see how it's controlled, and especially what it leads to with Parish then. Because if Harrison Blitzer assumed the controlling interest, then that might change what happens with Parish. So interested to see how that will play out.
Yeah, look, I've been vocal about ownership. It's not only me. I mean, fans that's been going to games have been vocal as well, especially with Roy being at the football club, was not getting a sack, and just about ambition, everything. But now it's weird times due to the fact that we are on a high. Everything is positive, and the future is kind of uncertain. It's not like Texas owns 10% of the shares. He owns a good, chunk 40%. That's a significant amount. I mean, the next person buying out his shares is going to be very important for the future of this football club. Will they invest the money in? Will it be an investment group over in the States? I don't personally want an investment group. Also, who would they be happy with working with Parish? With his golden share that we were talking about.
Right, because whoever, I think there's going to be plenty of people that are going to come to the table to try and make a deal. I don't doubt that. I think there will be a lot of people with interest. But I think in the process of negotiating, and of course, in trying to acquire something like this, there's going to be significant rhetoric, wording, negotiations that are going to be had. And they're going to want to try and get their way into majority ownership. Like, who wouldn't? I mean, I don't think it's good business if they don't, especially seeing what Textor's already going through in his attempt to try to get to that point. So I think there'll be people that are interested. I think it just all boils down to if they can be able to negotiate something that works in their favor for their acquisition.
Yeah, and I think that the golden shares and our model right now makes it more difficult. Makes it more difficult. With the multi-club model, I thought it was on paper working well, based on the scouting reports that we've heard with Botafogo and Lyon. It seems like everyone was working well together. So it's a bit weird now that it's not. Personally, I think it's not the multi-club model exactly. I think it's more about putting a club on as an IPO and out onto the stock market. I think that is the potential worry, and I think that is where Steve Parish, I'm guessing, is having a problem. I don't think he wants to do that. Not only that, I think Palace fans don't want to do that in the first place. They don't want to. It's not really a good look. Football doesn't really work like that. I know Man United have it. are a publicly listed club, but it goes a bit too much onto the business side now when it's publicly listed, and a lot of people don't want it. I guess you can raise funds like that, but you just don't really want to go down that path. But for me, I think the weirdest thing about it, there's a lot of weird things, is that Everton's financial situation is terrible right now. It's terrible
that one,
right now. But that shows
that
like
one I
desperation.
don't understand.
Like he just
That
wants a
one I
Premier
don't
League football
understand
club.
as
That,
much.
I think he wants a Premier League football club where one he can. I think the biggest thing probably is we talk about control and everything like that, but I think the biggest thing that he wants is not just the IPO, but control. He wants to, because he said that in an Athletic interview before. He said that he wants to run the football club the way he wants to run it. He doesn't want others to intervene. And I think maybe he's hoping for that at Everton. But for me, it seems like desperation. I'll be honest. To go to Everton.
And I feel like, why would you want to go to Everton? It's a dumpster fire. I don't know. Maybe for him, once again, like the way it looks, with things like stock and in a lot of business senses, you buy low and you sell high. So you buy Everton when it's in the shitter, and then you hopefully can give them some infrastructure, build them up to where later on, whenever you're ready to let them go, you're letting them go at a huge plus to you. But it seems like that one doesn't make as much sense because they're literally still in negotiations to be purchased. So I feel like there's probably going to be a ton of yellow tape in dealing with that. So that's probably the most surprising piece of the news to me, is hearing that he's interested in Everton. But I think in kind of going back to what you were talking about earlier, he probably views the fact that he wants to have a true multi-club setup. And it's not a true multi-club setup until you own every team within the system. And he doesn't truly own Crystal Palace. And I think, he probably gave it a certain window. It's like, hey, I'm going to give it 3 years to try and do what I can to fully purchase majority ownership of the club. And if at the end of those 3 years, 3 seasons, it doesn't happen, we let it go. And that could be where we are right now, where he's like, I've done what I can. I've added to this club significantly, so I could be happy about what I've done in my time with Crystal Palace. And when I sell my shares, I'm going to make a profit because of what I've done. So, I mean, that could really.
I wonder how much he's looking for. I think that's an interesting thing as well. I wonder how much.
That's a good question.
He's looking for his shares. That's good.
That's a good question.
But then again, it won't be cheap. He's 100% making a profit. 100% he's making a nice
100%.
profit. But
100%.
I don't know how much that profit is.
I would imagine to say he could probably double it, almost.
We have to also be careful, with this. I mean, he's selling up, and Patrick from Back of the Nest, he left comments saying that will basically be worse off about Texas. But we have to be careful who he sells it to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It could go, if you sell it to the wrong hands, that could be the start of something bad. But if you sell it to the right hands, that could potentially elevate the club even further with, as long as they're ambitious. And that's why it's going to be interesting whether, Parrish, Harris, Blitzer, what they think, who they want at the football club. But Andy has a question saying, with Harris and Blitzer, who keep their cards close, would they be up for selling their shares if the right money was offered? Could we see a whole change of ownership? Could this be the start of something different?
Here's why I don't see that happening, Andy, is because Textor's been trying to get them to sell their shares to him so that he can have controlling interest.
Yeah, but they don't want to.
Yet.
They don't want to.
So if they, my thing is, if they haven't sold the Textor yet, it's either that they don't want to sell at all, or they don't want to sell to Textor in particular. And I feel like it's probably the former rather than the latter. I don't think they're looking to divest their shares in the club at this point. That's why they didn't sell to Textor, because it's been known that Textor's wanted to buy their shares, even a small amount of the shares, just to tip the scales in his favor, but they wouldn't do it. So I don't think that they would would all sell their shares together. I don't think that would be the case in the scenario.
What's their game plan though? This is what I don't understand. What is their game plan? Because they are investors. What's the game plan? When do they sell? What do they want? Like what? Because it's not like Steve Parish, where he's a fan, of course, and he's an investor as well. It's not just he's a Palace fan, and yeah, of course he loves the club, but it's a business move for Parish as well. That's why he's loving life right now with his golden share. But what is Textor? We know what he wants. Textor wants control, which is not going to get at Palace. But what do Harrison Blitzer want? Like we don't really speak about that.
Investment.
What do they want the end game? Yeah, because they invest in a lot of different sport models.
I would just say long-term investment. I mean, you don't see like for a lot of these guys, that own other organizations and stuff like Blitzer and Textor, when their other ownerships of other organizations, those aren't short-term projects. They don't buy those teams and they quickly flip them. You know what I'm saying? They tend they're long-term investments. So that's what I think at this point it would be. If they were just looking to make a quick flip and make a profit, they would have sold their shares already. So maybe they just see Crystal Palace as they truly believe in what they're seeing from the potential of the club, and they see it as a true long-term investment.
Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, what happens with them. But look, we're going to move on from Textor. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, put a Q and a dot right before your question, and we'll answer them towards the end of the show. But according to reports, not any reports, it's not like any other reports. It seems like it's very true. It's coming from The Athletic. I think Financial Times posted as well. John Textor wants out. This summer is going to get tastier than it already is. And we'll be here. We will be here to cover it all. As always, if you're enjoying this, leave a like and subscribe. Sorry for the visual issues. I didn't realize the lights would be that bright. But we'll get this over the next Live Palace. Look,
and this is. Can I just comment on this really quickly? What Frasmeister also said here about the multi-club model. Don't forget that our other owners own other clubs too. So I think SV Beveren is owned by I believe, is it Blitzer that owns SC Beveren? So we have.
They do have a, but it's not as serious as Texas though.
No, it's not. It's not a true. It's not like a.
That's what it relies
on. A network, but they do own other clubs. So that is there. So
also a good twist and question is what potentially happens with the new stand. I don't want to put that scare out there because everything is sorted financially. But does anything change? Maybe
I don't think so, because it doesn't seem like the money.
Maybe includes the price in its sale factor, and he talks about the new stand. I wonder what exactly happens there, because that's all been confirmed. That's been confirmed, and the new build is meant to start this summer or around September-ish. So this year it's meant to start with the new stand.
It could include a guarantee.
I don't think it will, but then again, maybe that's included in the price, the potential there.
I mean, it could include a guarantee of when it starts.
Yeah, look, everything should be sorted there in terms of finances. Yeah. But I wonder if that changes how much he values Palace as well, Textor, which I think it will do if he's putting money forward as well, because the capital's all been sorted, the work is meant to start, everything should be approved. So, I really want to find out how much he is willing to sell his shares, which is around 40% or so. But there will be buyers, there will be interest. It's about, let's see who's actually interested in Crystal Palace. That's going to be the biggest thing about it. Look, that's it for Textor. If you have any questions, we'll answer the Textor news. Let's move on to the next one, because this is also big. Let's talk about transfers, which we already started this week with. And that is on Chadi Riad, which we spoke about. But reports in Spain, and not only just reports, is that Pellegrini has confirmed that he will be having his medical on Monday.
And he's not in the team. They play today, and he's not in the team for their match today.
Pellegrini, before the game, has confirmed that he's having his medical at Palace on Monday. We spoke about how it's weird to even be talking about players signing for Palace this early. We spoke about it being a good depth option. We'll talk about him in a bit more detail once it's officially confirmed. But medical booked. good signs. Next week, hopefully, we can have that video, a live reaction on the signing of a new defender, a very good young defender as well. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm buzzing. This is not the Crystal Palace, I know. Here we go,
I like
mate.
this. I like this Palace. I do. I like this version. This is
It's
good.
better than our Palace on
This
deadline
is
day.
nice.
Chasing after
This
players
is
on the
nice.
final hours. Yeah.
It's like it's
better
nice
than
that knowing like June 1, you already got one guy locked in, and then you're already focusing on other things. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what we wanted to see from the club. Not even and it's not even like we're not asking for big, huge splash signings and guys that we're spending a ton of money on. We just want to see that the club is being proactive with finding players that fit the club, that fit our system, that we're dealing with, replacing players that we're losing. You know what I'm saying? Think about if when we were going into that summer where we had like 11 guys out of contract, just think about if we would have moved this early on one guy. And it's like, man, that's good to see that they're already being proactive in trying to deal with the amount of outgoing guys we have. Like, that would just be good to see. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a guy that you're signing for 30, 40 million pounds. It's just like, be active in the market, be looking for guys, be moving on the guys that you've been scouting and recruiting.
Yeah. It pretty much falls down to that. Be active. After you've done your scouting, everything's sorted out, then just literally go for it. Go for it. If you like the player, go for it rather than waiting on and counting the pennies and just trying to bring in these players before preseason starts. Of course, it's easier said than done, but this is a positive step. The medical is confirmed to be on Monday, so hopefully next week we'll be having an announcement on Glasner's first signing since joining the football club. So that is going to be his first signing. Of course, he's not 100% having a say, but of course he will have a say with Doug Friedman. But let's see who else he wants to bring into the football club. But it doesn't end there. As soon as we got one medical confirmed, we haven't got another one confirmed, but we've still got another rumor, and that is on the Norwich midfielder, the 24-year-old deep lying playmaker Gabriel Sari, who's been rumored to be of interest to Crystal Palace and also Roma as well. Now this midfielder, deep line playmaker, 24 years old. Bit of a weird one talking about midfielder. Because I feel like we're pretty much covered there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what might be going on and what the plans might be. Because I don't think you discuss this type of move for a guy of this caliber with what we have in our midfield already. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit surprising. I think a lot of people were surprised to see that. But is he a baller? Absolutely. I mean, 13 goals, 12 assists, that's 25 goal involvements. Like, he's legit. He's a legit player, man. So I'm interested to see what the thought process is behind that, because I don't know, maybe he can come in and be a death piece for a season. Because maybe we end up losing a guy after next season, and then he just kind of goes into that role and assumes that role. I mean,
do you think he's ready for the Premier League? Because he's not really that young as well. 24 years old. This is where it's a bit interesting. He's 24 years old, which is not like a 19, 18-year-old that he brings to football club. 24, still young. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, he's dominating. He's dominating the championship. I mean, why not let him make the leap? And
could this be our championship signing, as we love to do? Could this be the main one, or do you think there's another one that could be in the pipeline?
I think I think that it could be our quote unquote championship signing, but it may not be the only championship signing either, because we may still go out and go for a younger championship prospect. You know what I mean? I don't think he has to be the only one. For sure. I mean, shoot, with some of the rumors, he's not even the only one from his own team that we've been rumored to be interested in, with Jonathan Rowe being another one. But I don't know. I mean, he's looks a solid player. My brother-in-law is a Norwich fan, so I've watched a few matches.
Wait, your brother-in-law is a Norwich fan?
Yeah.
That is the most random thing I've heard. Where's he from?
Yeah.
Don't tell me he's from the States.
He's from the States. He's originally from
He's from the States, and he's
Maine.
a Norwich fan.
Yeah, he's originally from Maine. He lives in Portland, Oregon now. But yeah, he's
That's
a
funny.
Norwich fan, bro.
I don't know. That's just so
Yeah, it's
random.
funny.
Well, I guess.
I know,
Well, when
right?
did he start supporting Norwich?
He said he's been supporting Norwich for like 15 years. It's been a while.
That's
Because
funny. That's funny. So
I
what does
don't
he
know if it
think?
was like a trip or something that he did over there and just became a fan or something,
So what
but
did he?
he
So what does he think? You must have spoke to him, right?
so yeah, so I actually asked him about Gabriel Sara and what he thought about him, and he was like, yo, he was one of the reasons why we were even able to get to the playoffs. He's like, he's everything to our club. Like, he's the engine. He scores goals. He assists goals. Like, he's way too good for us. And they know they're going to lose him this year because they didn't qualify to get into the Premier League this year via the playoffs. So, like, they're kind of almost like resolute with understanding that they're probably going to lose him. I think he said he knows that they're going to lose Sara. He knows they're probably going to lose Jonathan Rowe, and he thinks that they're also going to lose Josh Sargent, who is the American striker for them too.
Look, it's still early days. It's not a Chadi Riad situation of here we goes and things are progressing. It's just a rumor right now. It's just a rumor right now. So it's only a matter of time. We'll see if it's serious or not. This is like your typical summer rumor, kind of, I could say, rather than things progressing. So let's see. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, my thing is,
Rome is interested as well. It's not just Palace.
Yeah, and it's like how do we feel about that type of move? Because let's get this straight. He's not going to be that cheap. Like, I'm hearing Norwich wants around like 20 million pounds for him. So he's not going to be cheap.
I don't really see him starting. I don't see him starting. So I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Do we want to drop another 20 mil on a player who's not going to start for us? Is kind of like where my line of thinking goes. Because I mean, we dropped the 20 mil on França, and he's been a bench player to this point. I mean, we did drop the 20 for Wharton, and he came in and played right away, but there was an opening for him to come in. You know what I'm saying? Right now, this will be a depth piece. Do we want to spend that 20, or can we negotiate them down a little bit, possibly, on it? I mean, granted that he's probably going to want to leave for greener pastures, and they might be in a situation where they need the money, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Look, Roma's interested as well. Let's go through some of the questions. We've already answered this. We'll have some blitz and bite them out. Bollocks Cindy, what's happened to your wardrobe will be a lion wick and Snow Queen in the background soon. Yeah, man. Well, my wardrobe will be back soon. It will be back soon. Hopefully, it will be back for a short while. Then it'll be changed forever. The wardrobe era. But yeah, as you can see, I am not at home right now, and it is nice weather as well. That's why I am outside. Let's go through the next question. Jet saying thoughts on the rumors linking us with Kamada from Lazio, realistic or not? Already spoke about this in 2 Palace news episodes ago. I guess we'll wait till next week. That's when his contract runs out, I believe.
Yeah, May 30th is like the deadline or something.
Yeah. So he makes a decision then, and then I guess.
But yes, I think it's realistic because he used to play for Glasner and he could possibly be on a free. So I think it's realistic. But
yeah. If you have any questions, just quickly send them through before we wrap up. Callum saying, who do you see wearing the armband? What we say?
Anderson was a captain. He leaves. Is that Anderson, if Gay? And no, but Anderson gave it to Gahey when Gahey came back. So Gahey wore it. So in that last match, Gahey wore the armband.
But I wonder what happens if Gahey was to leave, because I'm still in a boat that I'll be surprised.
If Gahey leaves, then Anderson's the cat. I think if Gahey leaves, I think Anderson's.
Yeah, it's crazy though, because
when you look just talking about who's the vice captain.
Anderson under Roy, I would have never thought, because he seemed like he just short-tempered, but now it just feels like he's the natural leader under Glasner. He's shown his experience, showing his level, and I think it makes sense. It makes sense.
And
to
I think
Anderson as a captain.
What you got to realize is when you bestow that honor upon a guy, there's kind of like a level of, poise and charisma and a challenge that you have to meet in wearing it. Like when Wilf wore the captain's armband, and a lot of people were super shocked that he got a chance to wear it. But when he did, he was great. You know what I'm saying? Because I think there's just that level of understanding, that level of responsibility that comes with wearing the armband. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is, and he's really fitted into being a captain. But of course, that depends on if Gahey leaves the club or stays at the club.
Right. Exactly.
Which I guess we'll find out this summer. Just quickly before we wrap up, if you had to pick two between Gahey, Elise, and Eze, which would you pick? Pick for what?
I must say, are we talking about
to make
captaincy,
captain?
for what?
Captaincy is Gahey out of them because I think Gahey just naturally he fits in the captain. I don't know if Elise is more of a lead by example. Maybe Eze could. I wouldn't think Elise will be captain, but I mean, if we had to sell, if you're asking about selling them,
To stay. He said to stay.
If you had to, that's
two. You pick two to stay?
Yeah, Elise. Yeah, we saw it without Gahey. I'm not saying that there's a cat here. I'm not saying that that selling Gahey is all great and let's sell Gahey, but he's a fantastic player. But right now we've seen that we can adapt without Gahey.
I think we lose. I think we lose more. Yeah, we lose more in our balance, in our tactics, and our ability if we lose one of Eze or Elise right now, compared to losing. And we don't even lose leadership. Like, we're talking about him being the captain, but we don't lose leadership with him either because you got somebody like Anderson that steps in. So.
100%. Well, look, people, we're going to wrap up there. If you just joined now, trust me, make sure to watch the start of the show because there's a medical book. And on top of that, there could be a potential ownership structure change as John Textor wants to sell up. And is interested in buying another Premier League football club that we spoke about as well. But if you have enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button, people. I know a lot of you watch on replay and let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you can hit 200 likes, that would be fantastic. That's it from me and T. We'll be back as soon as there's any other Palace news. So make sure to subscribe to not miss out on that. But until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.